This segment is brought to you by Trapp Chevrolet. We're always on your side.
Hey everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. It's time to check in with Assumption Parish, and for that, we go to the sheriff's office there and Commander Lonnie Cavalier. Lonnie, how you doing, man? Summer's treating you guys all right?
Good, Harry. Thanks for having us. Yes, so far so good. Can't complain.
Good to have everybody back in school. We got a couple of interesting cases here. We'll start with one Brandon Punch to start off.
Yes, Brandon J. Punch, 39 of 3071 Bayou DeLarge Road, Terrio, Louisiana, was arrested on a warrant charging him with failure to appear in court on charges of simple burglary of an inhabited dwelling, as well as a warrant from the Louisiana Department of Corrections for a probation parole violation. Brandon J. Punch was previously arrested in Assumption Parish and as a result was ordered to appear in court on June 23rd of 2025. Brandon Punch failed to appear as ordered, resulting in a warrant being issued for his arrest on June 26th of 25. Brandon J. Punch was arrested by the Houma Police Department on August 25th, 2025, and released to the custody of the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. Brandon J. Punch was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of failure to appear in court in Assumption Parish on June 23rd of 25 on account of simple burglary of an inhabited dwelling and a probation parole detainer. Brandon J. Punch remains incarcerated on the failure to appear charge with bond set at $200 cash. Brandon A. Punch was ordered held without bond on the probation parole detainer. Additionally, the original bond in the simple burglary charge in the amount of $25,000 has been revoked.
Okay, next up, interesting, and I guess state law kind of comes into play here, but you have a concealing of a large caliber firearm walking around downtown Napoleonville. Tell me about that one.
Yes, Michael Peter Butler, 45 of 500 Franklin Street, Napoleonville, was arrested on felony charges arising from a suspicious person complaint near Jefferson and St. Joseph Street in Napoleonville. The complainant reported to deputies a subject believed to be Michael Butler walking in the street with what appeared to be a gun in his hand and further indicated the suspect to be pointing the gun in different directions. Deputies located the subject, now identified as Michael Peter Butler, and noted him to appear to be intoxicated. At some point, Butler sat on the ground. As deputies observed Butler, he was found to be concealing a large caliber firearm. During the investigative process, Michael Peter Butler was determined to be a prior convicted felon. Therefore, he could not legally possess a firearm. Michael Peter Butler was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and disturbing the peace by intoxication. Michael Peter Butler remains incarcerated with his bond set at $75,000.
Yeah, so, you got a new state law. I guess most people can carry a concealed weapon, but obviously not if you're a felon, and there's issues there involved as well. Then your next one will be a traffic stop that turned into a bigger arrest.
Yes, Douglas W. Miles, 62 of 412 Bunn Street, Donaldsonville, Louisiana, was arrested on felony charges arising from a traffic stop on LE1 north of Pankerville on Sunday evening. A uniformed patrol deputy assigned to the ICE detail observed a vehicle near LE1 and LE403 with an equipment violation and attempted to conduct a stop of that vehicle. The vehicle continued north on Highway 1 and eventually stopped near Highway 70. The deputy made contact with the driver, now identified as Douglas W. Miles, and attempted to initiate an officer-violator interview. The deputy noted the driver to appear intoxicated. The driver refused to perform field sobriety testing. At the conclusion of the interview process, the deputy requested and was granted consent to search the vehicle. During the search, deputies recovered assorted drug paraphernalia. The deputy attempted to take Douglas W. Miles into custody, but Miles resisted those efforts. The deputy was able to arrest Douglas W. Miles during a pat-down search. Deputies seized crack cocaine. Miles was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession of crack cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, unlawful refusal to submit to chemical tests, resisting an officer, 2 counts, possession of alcoholic beverages in a motor vehicle, tail lamps required, driving while intoxicated. Douglas W. Miles remains incarcerated with his bond set at $35,000.
And we finished with Ronald Gibbs. And again, this one ends up being a felony burglary charge.
Yes, Ronald Joseph Gibbs, 34 of 3032 Diana Drive, Morgan City, was arrested on felony burglary charges arising from an incident which occurred on or about October 27th of 2024 at a residence off of LA 402 west of Pankerville. On the aforementioned date, deputies responded to a complaint of a residential burglary and made contact with the complainant, who advised the home had been burglarized and numerous valuables stolen. Deputies initiated an investigation and secured biological samples of evidence for scientific analysis. On November 20th, 2024, the same complainant reported the theft of an ATV off-road vehicle and an outboard engine. Deputies and detectives arrested Ronald Joseph Gibbs on the same date and recovered the stolen ATV and outboard engine. Ronald Joseph Gibbs at the time was charged with felony theft and a probation parole violation. Ronald Joseph Gibbs was convicted of the felony theft charges on July 28th of 25 and was serving a sentence. On July 14th, 2025, deputies received confirmation indicating that the scientific analysis of the biological samples obtained in connection with the residential burglary, which occurred on October 27, 2024, were a match to Ronald Joseph Gibbs. On August 20th, 2025, detectives filed an arrest warrant charging Gibbs with the October 27th burglary of the residence. Ronald Joseph Gibbs was booked on August 20th, 2025 on charges of simple burglary of an inhabited dwelling. Gibbs remains incarcerated with bond set at $75,000 on the simple burglary charges, and Gibbs is currently serving sentences for the felony theft charges and the probation violation.
All right, Lonnie. Well, thank you so much, and appreciate what you guys do to keep the citizens of Assumption safe. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Harry, for having us. Appreciate you.
We'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Trapp Chevrolet. We're always on your side.